Earlier this month in Barcelona, Spain, a mass murder occurred that included a van purposely driving into a group of crowded people, killing 14. My question today is, could this attack have been prevented? From the looks of it, absolutely. I couldn't help but shake my head when I saw the headlines, "Thousands march in defiance in Barcelona, Spain against terror." That's cool, that's great. I love the benefit concerts, I love the marches, but it's never going to solve the problem. Especially when I know in this particular attack that something strange happened. The alleged mastermind behind the attack was supposed to be in jail for 4 years. They ended up letting him out after serving half of his sentence, 2 years. But that's not even where the controversy occurs. This is where it does. He was set to be deported because he was a known threat to the nation, but a judge stepped in and said, no, you can't deport him. It's a violation of his human rights and international rights. The judge blocked the deportation, allowed him to stay, and gave him the room, space, and freedom to commit this mass atrocity in Barcelona, Spain. This judge should feel pretty guilty. Being an American citizen, this is so reminiscent to me of all of the judges blocking the travel ban and any sort of national security measure. There's an assortment of judges and phony activist groups who have an obsession with calling everything racist, everything sexist, and everything under the sun xenophobic. If it's not politically correct and it hurts their feelings in some way, it's racist, it's sexist, it's xenophobic. I know they're lying because when it comes to border security, travel security, and national security, they never allow a conversation to take place. I'm not saying that the right has it right. Clearly, the left doesn't have it right based on what I just told you, but the true tragedy occurs when the left doesn't allow a conversation. They won't even allow the libertarians and conservatives to voice their opinion and explain why a travel ban or border security is a good decision. Nope. Everything's racist, everything's sexist, everything's xenophobic, everything's a violation of human and international rights. The irony of it is the same celebrities and judges and politicians that demonize anybody talking about border security and national security. These are the same ones on social media with their thoughts and their prayers and their marches and their benefit concerts and their rallies against terrorism and crime and hate, when a lot of the times they're blocking any real solution to stop these things at the root. We need to have a back and forth conversation and solve the root of the problem. I'm not saying the right is perfect, I know they're not, but the left, instead of even allowing a semi-rational conversation to take place, all they know how to do is scream racism, sexism, and xenophobia. As someone who considers myself left-leaning my entire life, it's getting ridiculous and extremely dangerous for not only Americans, but clearly all over the world. Like I said, root of the problem. It reminds me of a hose spewing out water, and instead of turning off the hose and solving the root of the problem, everybody's obsessed with just smacking at the water, filling up buckets, and expecting the problem to stop. Well, guess what? It's probably not going to, because that's not a real solution. We need to take the best from both worlds, from the liberal and conservative values, and create a real safe solution. That's not happening now. And a lot of it has to do with these people like these judges who don't care about rationality, who don't care about logic, who don't care about reason, who don't care about free speech or conversation. They're offended by everything, and everything's a violation of human rights and international rights. Let's tear down everything. Let's shut down every comedy club. I'm offended. You hurt my feelings. It's getting annoying. And I can't help but see the hypocrisy with how they treat different types of terrorism. When it's a white supremacist who created the terror attack, they not only blame every white supremacist and every neo-Nazi, which is fine, I have no tolerance for hate, bigotry, racism, and violence, but they also blame the President of the United States, anybody who supports the President of the United States, any conservative or libertarian who wants lower taxes and less government power. 100 million people get blamed for the action of one person in those type of terrorism attacks. It's ridiculous. They even allow hate, violence, and the shutdown of free speech just to justify their hate for white supremacists and neo-Nazis. That's fine, I think we can all get on the same page with that, but their response to those type of terror attacks is completely irrational and ridiculous. It's not making the problem go away, which I want and they want, it's making the problem worse. And how do they react to the terror attacks in Europe, like the ones we saw in Barcelona? Not only do they not blame that whole ideology, that whole group, or that whole religion, which is completely fine, I don't want them to, but they start attacking other people who are criticizing. They bend over backwards to not offend anybody. They don't care about the terror attack, they don't care about the ideology, they don't care about the fact that it's not going to stop. They're worried about feelings and they don't want anybody to get offended. It's ridiculous. Like I said, I'm not saying to group all people in. I don't want people to do that. And personally, I respect every religion and spirituality. But is the hypocrisy not obvious? To sum it up, the Barcelona attack absolutely could have been prevented. In order to stop these attacks and make the world a better, safer place, we need to not just scream racist, sexist xenophobia at everything, and have a decent, honest conversation, take the best of both worlds, and figure out a solution. It's going to take the good people from every race, religion, gender, ideology, and country to make the world a better place and to create the future that we all want. Have a conversation. Don't group hundreds of millions of people together and demonize them. Both sides. Have a conversation and take the best from both sides. If we continue on the path that we're on now, we're never going to solve the problem. Thank you so much for listening. If you would like to donate to my movement and my news analysis, I'm going to put my links below. Since YouTube, Google, and Twitter are trying to make it as hard as possible for free speech to exist and a steady stream of revenue for independent journalists, I appreciate your support now more than ever. God bless you, God bless your family, God bless the world, and let's talk to each other, let's listen to each other, let's have conversations, and let's all do our part to make the world a better place.
Always been a rebel boy, watch me living out the system, yeah, I stretch like every day. I be all about my fitness, keep my mind about the stress, so I always beat my sickness. I don't trust no corporation, cause they lie like politicians. I don't